It wasn't giving me that. We're in a broadcast. We've done it.
We're in a broadcast, but it's not showing up on YouTube.
Yeah, it'll probably take.
It's got to go for a certain amount of minutes before it actually pops up.
My son says it's got to go for so many minutes, and then it'll come up. Hang on.
Yeah, they want to know whether or not to cut us. Do you watch Scott McKay? Yep, we're in there. Yep, we're in it. Yep, we're in there. We're live. I've only got this little box, but you're frozen. You're frozen, Vicky. Vicky, I'm going to put a blanket around you and unfreeze you. She's gone now. Can't be doing that. Crikey. All right, let's throw the link out there. Let's see what people have got to say for themselves. You don't know what it's like. You don't know what it's like. This is the Scott McKay bus behind me. Full throttle. Truth hammer. Yep. Scotty McKay and the Truth Hammers. It's not the tipping point, it's the tripping point. Get it? Tripping point? Oh, Vicky, you're there. Yeah, well, sorry. Just talking to myself. I was starting to answer myself back as well. You froze. What happened? You all right? Can you hear me? Have I gone? All right, I'll try it again. I'll do my...
Can you hear me?
You there? Hello? Can you hear me? Yeah. Can hear you. I can hear you, no problems. Actually, mic. Oh, here we go. I can adjust your mic. How you going, Vicky? I can do. That's me.
I can't hear anything you're saying.
I'm controlling your volume.
All right.
What do you mean you can't hear anything I'm saying? Oh my God. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? I don't know what. How can I do this? Audio. Echo cancellation. Test. Oh my. I could hear you before, Vicky. Shady. How are we? I don't know what I was going to talk about. I was going to talk about this young girl that went missing in Western Australia. I was going to talk about her. Share screen. How can I share screen? Wait. Terrence Kelly was his name. I just want to play this this interview. Terrence Kelly's neighbour. You got to see this guy. He's like a Michael Jackson lookalike. Collects Brat dolls. Collects Brat dolls. Yeah, the Aborigine guy took her. Yep, he did. Apparently, but it just doesn't make sense. That's why I'm. How do I get back to that bloody? All right. Oh. Hey, Vicky.
Hi, is that working?
He lured her with the dolls. He may have. Yep, I can hear you. 5x5.
I don't think he lowered her with the dolls.
I'm just trying to work out how.
He went in her tent at 1 o'clock in the morning.
But it does seem awfully strange. Like, I'm thinking to myself, if I was a child and someone was playing around, with the tent and it was a strange man or whatever, I'd be screaming my head off.
Well,
unless he grabbed her, but then you'd still create a struggle where you'd have to create some sort of.
Her sleeping bag went missing at the same time.
But didn't someone say that the parents were in on it yesterday? Did you hear that, Vicky?
An Aboriginal elder or one of the elders, or she's known, said that he's a known drug dealer in the area, and they're thinking the stepfather, which is the mother's boyfriend, it was done through that way, the mother and the boyfriend through that way. So maybe Cleo might have known him, but I don't know if that's true. But her sleeping bag went missing as well at the same time. So he could have scooped her up in the sleeping bag, just lifted her up and she slid down the bottom and wouldn't have heard nothing.
Hey, that's a possibility. I never even thought about that.
Because the sleeping bag went missing as well.
Was she camping with her parents?
Missing from the sleeping bag and her. That's why I sort of.
And then the daughter possibly could have thought, oh yeah, it's just mum picking me up or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, you've got to come at it with a kind of an open mind, haven't you? You can't really have a closed mind when you're dealing with these things.
Yeah, and then he would have used the brat style to keep her in the house, you see. Because he had that room set up like a big doll's house, apparently.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. Neighbours explain
No, that wasn't it. I'm looking for that. Do you know the neighbor? He came out and he said some really weird stuff
What, the young
on the morning
Aboriginal
show.
fella? He was
Yeah.
down there with his sister. Because you also have to realise...
No, he was by himself at this point.
Oh, okay. Wearing a stripy top. A brown.
Could have been a
and
stripy
tan
top.
Stripes. Yep.
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah, well, yeah, he said that that guy had been acting strange, the one that took her. He'd drive out crazy, and they seen him in the supermarket buying, nappies, pull-ups and all that, which he's never bought before. But he's always been strange. He's always been a loner, and apparently one of the other neighbours' kids looked over the fence and seen, but whether that was true or not, I don't know. And the dog used to always be in the backyard, but this time the dog was in the front yard. So like a lookout for him, would bark if anybody come near or whatever.
Yeah. Definitely a cute looking girl.
She is. I just don't know what to believe. I'm just glad that she's alive. I think that's really how we're going to have to take it. The truth will come out.
Hey, 18 days. Well, did you see that picture of him walking to the cop car?
Yeah. I think he has some psychological issues.
That one? Hey,
that one.
To have all them dolls. But then again, I was on a stream the other night, and one of the guys, he was probably a 50-year-old guy, he came out and said that he collects dolls. And it had nothing to do with this. It was just a total separate. Yeah, it was just a coincidence that he was talking about dolls. But he actually has dolls, porcelain dolls, and that he collects. But this guy collects brat dolls.
Yeah, and brat dolls have a value too.
I mean, I suppose in 100 years' time. Oh,
well,
do they?
They're all unopened, so it's not like he's playing with the dolls. All those Bratz dolls are in their original packaging. He's collected all the different types there is. Like there's, I don't know, probably 100 or so. And so they're all worth money now. It's like any popular toy that comes out. If you save them and keep them for a few years, they become value. So if he hasn't done anything, thank God for that. Maybe he was at the verge
diapers
of doing it, and he got caught.
The Americans call nappies diapers.
Oh, okay.
I think I wonder if they call them nappies. Nappies.
That's the British.
And we call the toilet a dunny.
A loo.
I'm going to the dunny.
The dunny. Or dunny's for the outside. The loo's for the inside. Dunny means drop box,
bit of etiquette. Toilet etiquette.
Trust me, I lived on a farm. We had a dunny. Take the torch.
I just
for redback spiders before you.
I just call a shovel and a. Yeah, for the redback spiders stinging your bum.
Yep, and snakes.
Have you still got them in Tasmania? Them outside toilets. I haven't seen one of them in years. There's probably still a couple out in the city.
Oh well. Tassie,
yeah.
Tassie, they say we have two heads, so we've got two toilets. Okay, for each one.
Hey, you could take that as a compliment. A Tasmanian male could. Two heads.
Yeah, the old drop boxes, as we call them, they're everywhere. They're all over Australia.
Box.
Well, it is. It's a long drop to the bottom of it, and it's usually just a box over the hole with a hole in it where you sit on it. That's why it's called a drop box.
Makes sense. The
and
English...
they built a shed around it. That's why you got the little dunny that you see now with the little shed over it. That's luxury.
Yeah, once upon a time it used to be a shovel and a book.
Yeah, a shovel and a hole.
Yeah, shovel in a hole. Oh no. Yeah, so that guy was definitely a bloody weird character.
Yeah.
This
I
bloody
don't think
didn't.
we'll ever know the true story till it goes to court, and then they say, and even then, we probably will never know.
Did you see that Aboriginal lady come out? She was wearing like a purple sort of a top. I don't know her name. That's why I'm describing her to you. And she came out and she named a lot of. Yeah, she named a lot of names.
Yeah, she's very.
She named.
I call her an elder. She's probably not an elder, but she's very involved with the Aboriginal society, and she's also doing I think a type of cancer treatment at the moment. That's why she's wearing. But she when in that interview, because I watched it on Telegram, she's very involved in the background, because she talked about the pedophile ring and everything else that happens to all the Aboriginal children and that what happens to them, and she seems to know a lot, but whether it's true or not, I guess we will never know because we've never experienced that, But for them, out there,
but the thing about calling people out, like, you wouldn't do it unless you had proof. Would you?
Well, that's what she said.
Unless you got nothing to sue for.
She's got the documents, she said. So yeah. So I guess when the documents come out and everyone sees it all, then they can call them out on it. But until then, until physical proof, people are just going to call her a conspiracy theorist, which is a shame, because she could be telling the truth. See,
that's the thing. I mean, it's too easy to label someone a conspiracy theorist. Isn't it?
Especially with the internet. Internet's a good thing, but it's a bad thing too. It's a good thing for you and I and every normal person, but it can be a bad thing for people who, organise crimes and all that, because they can be found out. It's getting the proof, So,
a lot of kids, especially in America, a lot of kids are doing drive-by shootings and then bragging about it and filming it and putting it on Facebook. And
doing here too. It's building up, but not so much. Here it's knives, it's gangs. The gangs are starting here.
Yeah.
The knifing and the gangs is the big thing at the moment here. So
in Tasmania,
Victoria, Tasmania, Sydney. It's quite Australia-wide. Gold Coast.
I stopped watching the news because it's they just everything I watch it's a lie. Yeah.
But you need to know what's happening around the world, and that's the only means at the moment too. For somebody, me, and that mainstream is the way until you learn another link. Until you learn, there's this broadcast company and that broadcast. So it's like anything.
That's what I mean. They've all got hidden agendas, don't they?
It's like religion.
I mean, and you've got to. I think
there's hidden agendas in there as well.
Yeah, unfortunately, you think they're they think that you think they've got your best interests at heart.
Don't they?
Yeah, just sign here.
All of them, isn't it? Isn't it the same? All of them have the so-called best interest. I mean, you got the religious cults, that's happened on worldwide, and then you have the political parties that are happening worldwide, and and then
do you know what cult I've always been intrigued with? I've always been intrigued with the FLDS in Utah. Remember how they had the two state? They didn't have a state, but they had these two, like, I don't know if they were towns or what they were, but they were side by side towns. They must have been towns. Sorry,
I don't know.
One was called. So anyhow, one was called Colorado City, and the other one was called. I can't even remember, but they had. So their leader was called Warren Dress, and he had like 52 wives. 98 kids. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think they were like fundamentalist Latter-day Saints.
Oh, okay.
So a break
Right.
off of the Mormon Church.
Yep. Yep.
And they were in charge of these two towns in America. And when the feds would come and raid one town, they'd go over to the border to the other town. Yeah. This was
okay.
probably late 90s, early 2000s, around that type of mark.
I've never heard
But
of
this
it.
guy...
Like, I knew about Waco and I knew about, was it Jonestown? That one, those ones are the two big ones that I know about, that I've seen, I remember seeing.
At one point I was so intrigued with them, I started like Facebook stalking them. And I started like getting all their names and like trying to befriend them on Facebook and talk to them and that. And I did talk to quite a few of them, and they were really nice people. Yeah. I mean, I never got to ask them. Yay, well, just put a roof over my head and I'm anyone's, all right? That's all it takes. Just a slice of bread and a little roof. Could even be a doghouse, you know?
Yeah,
I don't care. I don't need much room. I could be chained up in it too. Let's just say, you know. Now I'm fantasizing.
It's when they get the whip and chain out, we've got to watch you.
Yeah, and I get that big smile. So, yeah, he's in jail now, the leader of that church.
All right.
Because he was apparently he was making really bad rules for some of the, you know, the church goers and the cult goers or whatever.
The followers.
And apparently, the followers. So apparently the
congregation.
Apparently you had the God Squad, and the God Squad. So as a husband, you could not sleep with your wife anymore. The God Squad could only do it, and they were the child bearers. Yeah, they were the child bearers at one.
You know what?
At one
when
point,
you say God Squad, do you know who I think of? The bikie gang, the God Squad. It's a bikie gang.
Oh, is it? What do they do? Just go around and read verses.
Yeah. They ride Harleys and all that, and they preach to God and all that, you know. But they're not a cult or anything. They're just a religious group of people, you know. So yeah.
So this guy, I think he's got like 7 life sentences in one of the Utah jails, but it blows my mind to, like, how does someone wake up and think to themselves, I'm going to try and trick people to be a part of my cult?
Well, it's a bit like the Marilyn Manson sort of story. I think it's a lot to do with the upbringing, you know, the childhood, and a lot's to do with the
Marilyn Manson story.
Yeah, the guy that murdered all those people in that movie star.
Charles Manson. Yeah, Charles Manson.
Yeah.
Have you heard the conspiracy theories behind that?
No. I might have, but depending on which one. There's so many of them.
So apparently Charles Manson was seen driving Sharon. G'day, Socrates Fool. I'll throw down a link if you want, Socrates Fool. You're quite welcome to jump up if you want and have a conversation. We don't bite after 7, so you're in luck.
So after 7 o'clock Australian time.
Yeah. Australian time, yeah.
Unless it's WA, we got to. Oh no, it's after 7 there. It's after 9.
So what was I saying? Apparently, so Charles Manson was seen driving Sharon Tate's red, because she had this red Ferrari apparently.
Oh, okay.
And he was seen driving this red Ferrari around town the week before it happened. And if you remember, Charles Manson grew up on a film set, a film studio.
Yeah, and he's
didn't.
Yeah, he knew a lot of actors and actresses, and he was in that crowd.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know the full story. I've only just documentaries that I've seen, that but yeah. So, and his followers stood by him for a long time before those women, one of them's finally realised, but some of them still believe, even now.
Oh, they were going to court and everything for him, remember?
Yeah, I know, with the ex and... So, but yeah.
Maybe I've always thought that women are attracted to men that are, the bad boy type of figures.
Yes and no, depending on the woman. It's pretty much same like a guy, isn't it?
Socrates.
Good evening.
Hi.
Hello.
How are
Can
ya?
you hear me?
Can
Can
Loud
you
and
hear
clear.
me? Okay, good.
Loud and clear.
Good. Yeah, I just got here. Sorry I was late. I was watching Michael Malice. I kind of enjoy watching his show sometimes. But
Okay, what's he about?
Typical intellectual analyzation of current situations, basically. It's just something to hear. I don't claim to be an intellectual, but it's good to hear from all sides as far as I'm concerned. But they were just talking. He was interviewing a guy, and they were talking about critical race theory and actually how Lenin said the biggest opposition to communism is parents. Once you start messing with their children, the parents get involved and they'll fight to the death for their children.
It's
And that's kind of where we're hitting right now. And then another point came up that the second would be category would be small business owners. And if you look, that's exactly what's being attacked.
Especially here in
families.
Australia, they're wiped out.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
wiped out.
I feel very sorry for you folks down in Australia, and the only, I'm sure you've heard this maybe to the point that you're sick of it, but the only reason we're not in the position you are is because of our Second Amendment. If you guys hadn't, given up your guns, I don't think because that scares those in charge.
No, I don't believe with the guns so much. That's.
Okay.
But then again, we've brought up without them. Here. I live in Tasmania, where that massacre happened. That's below me. A couple of hours below me. I'm on the little island below the big island of Australia. One more. Next stop is Antarctica. That's about close. But I don't think it's the guns so much. It's just that the government, in my eyes, I feel, just want to control, and they've taken away. They've even pretty much abolished the Bill of Rights. It's not mentioned anymore. Only the people like activists and that who are fighting for us, they will bring it up. Other words, like they say, swear in the new parliament and the new governors. It's supposed to be to the Queen of England, and they're not. They're saying the Queen of Australia. We don't have a Queen of Australia.
That's a totally different subject that I've never been able to understand is why anybody respects the royal family for any reason anymore. I don't get that. They're useless, and they're just a burden on us, on all society.
Australia tried to leave. We had a big vote Australia-wide, but everyone wanted to stay as the Commonwealth. It was a big vote Australia-wide where every person could vote, and they wanted to stay.
It's all just words, really. Commonwealth, I understand. I'm not trying to argue with you. I'm just trying to say.
No, I understand.
Things only mean stuff if we accept it.
Well, that's it, and that's it. And everybody at the moment, everybody's just accepting everything and anything. They're using the scare. I call it the scaremongering tactic, where they're scaring the shit out of everybody, and that's what they're doing. And now it's now just people are starting to wake up, but whether it's, you know, too late or not,
But they don't.
you know, if they bring
They
in
don't
these
really.
new bills that they're trying to bring in, you know, and then they're going to try and do it to you guys. Are you in the US? Yeah. They're trying to put all those mandates now onto you guys. We're the test, because we're an island away from everyone. New Zealand and Australia, we're the guinea pigs.
And they also do not fear you because you aren't an armed society. They do fear us.
No, but we're
They do fear us. We have 100 million people owning 300 million guns in this country.
Yes.
They fear that.
Yeah. But
Definitely.
Australia
There's 3 guns per person.
Australia
the
provides
average,
nuclear,
yes.
uranium. It comes from Australia.
Right.
See, a lot of the uranium that everybody's getting from overseas, it comes from us.
Yeah, except for the stuff that we get and we sell to the Russians through Hillary Clinton and her State Department.
So
no, that was just a
problem here is China. China is our problem.
But how?
China is the world's problem. I've been telling people that for the last 20 years, and people laughed at me.
I truly feel after this pandemic, I reckon by the end of next year, that'll be the subject that's gone past. The next it'll be a financial crisis is the next one.
Oh, that's
and
coming.
The global warming theories that's going on everywhere. That
is all bullshit.
That's all puff and smoke to cover up what they're doing in the background.
Yes, it is.
Well, all the ports are backed up.
You only have to look. You can go on. I can't remember the website, to be honest. You can go and see the pollution, how it was before the pandemic and how it is now. You only have to look over China. Look how much smoke and smog and everything else. China used to be covered. Now it's not. And then you look at it worldwide. You know.
But China wants a deal. China wants a separate deal for themselves. They want everyone on one deal and then themselves on a different deal where they can have as much pollution as they want.
Everyone's worried about China being a nuclear attack. I don't think it's going to be a nuclear attack. China's going to go financially. If China gets Taiwan, Taiwan provides every electronic device.
China's already holding us hostage. Do you realize China's already holding us hostage with our imports and exports? Look at all the ports around the world. They're all backed up.
Do you know how much land?
Oh, they own. Oh, yeah. They own airports.
Tasmania alone.
Oh, I'm a big advocate for, as far as I'm concerned, I think we should, somebody should come out and say, all right, all Chinese nationals, get the hell out of the country. Any property or businesses owned by Chinese nationals, you no longer own them.
They won't.
But not only that.
Australia's biggest mistake was stopping our own production. They sold it all to China.
Same here.
Our biggest mistake.
It wasn't a mistake. That's the thing. People look at the politicians as making mistakes and big business, and it wasn't a mistake. All this was by design to get us where we are now. But that's the thing. You know, when people say, "Oh, Joe Biden's an idiot," or politicians are stupid. Oh, are you kidding? Puppets. They made this. None of it's a mistake. It's all by design. That's what I believe.
Do you also believe in the 13 family theory and what's going on with all that?
The what?
Yeah.
The 13 family theory that's the big talk here in Australia at the moment.
I believe there's a great possibility. I mean, honestly, I don't know anymore. I
don't know whether I believe that there is a higher, you know, it's like a pyramid. I see it as a pyramid. There's a group right up the top.
Well, somebody's got to be at the top. And you know it's not Biden and it's not Obama whispering in his ear. There's people all above that. Sure.
Yeah.
Like this
the bankers.
After what I've seen and learned over just the last 3 years, I mean, I was red pilled before that, but just as it's come out even more, there's pretty much nothing I won't consider is possible anymore.
Of course.
You
Especially
know,
now with computers, everything's coming out.
exactly.
It's coming out in dribs and drabs, but it's finding out what is true and what is not. You've got to siphon through all the, excuse my language, but all the bullshit that comes in front of it every time.
Maybe that's why they push the bullshit out, because they know everyone would probably have a heart attack if they found out what's really going on.
Baffle them with bullshit. You know, that's how you do it. And then and distractions. And distractions too.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's called divide and conquer. That's what they're doing.
I've been
divide.
The last few months, I've really been considering Trump. You know, I don't. People are afraid to even consider that he's in on the game. You know, I mean, but
not what we've heard. We've heard he's against the game.
Yeah, so have we. And look, Trump exposed all this. Well, yes, big deal. What if you don't have anybody in power to do anything about it? Exposing it is just, you know, laughing in our faces, basically. And
Trump
the other argument I've heard was, well, Trump lost $1 billion being president. Well, what if his cut at the end of all this is $500 billion? You know,
yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying, you got to consider stuff.
He's not stupid, because how many times has he risen up, then lost everything, risen up, made even more? He has a formula.
Oh, he's not stupid.
He has a formula that's working for him.
And I'm sorry, I keep going back to here, where it's you guys that have the big problem right now. But I think the saying, you know, as America goes, the rest of the world goes. Unfortunately, it seems like the rest of the world is going faster. You know, I mean, like you say, Australia is a test case for the rest of the world, and that makes so much sense that. Because you're an island, you have less outside variants and things, you know, possible. And so they're trying to see what they can get away with.
We have less outside variants because we can shut our... And Tasmania is actually different to the mainland again.
Okay.
Because we shut down after the original pandemic, the first one for 3 months, and we haven't opened back up to the rest of Australia. So we haven't been shut down like the rest of Australia, where they're wearing masks. But because of the scaremonger, because we stopped it all with the premier that we have, we can mingle as vaccinated and unvaccinated. We can go anywhere we want. We don't have to wear masks. They're not forcing us to be jabbed. They're not asking our kids to be jabbed at school yet.
Are you joking?
This is all yet. But when they open up to the rest of Australia first and then the rest of the world, I think that's when it's going to hit us.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
I've had my count zero cases, 0 deaths, 0. We're all 0. We've only had a few.
You know, I can't say that COVID doesn't exist. That would be ridiculous. But if you look at the statistics, you know, all the people that died of COVID this past year or whatever, supposedly, nobody died in this country of the flu or of pneumonia. You know, all the statistics that normally show the people that died of pneumonia and the flu in this country all died of COVID this year.
Yeah, well, what they're saying
we
is
must
a lot
have
of people
cured,
died of
we must have cured pneumonia and the flu.
People died of other illnesses here, and then they do the so-called COVID test.
Right.
And then they say they're positive, and then they cremate them, so you can't go back and retest.
I haven't taken a test.
I've never been tested.
I won't get the vax. And the only time I've ever worn a mask is when I go into the marijuana dispensary, because I'm not about to get turned away from that place.
The only mask I wear is when I'm doing
I don't blame you.
Group, and I do it for a joke. That's the only time I've worn a mask.
Yeah. You know, so I mean, yeah, I'm a hypocrite. I'll admit it. I've worn the mask, you know, but I don't do it regularly, and I won't. And you know, the funny thing is, I'm a pretty big, grizzly-looking guy, so I don't get too many people hassling me about not wearing the mask. Not only that, I think as we keep going,
They
Oh,
don't even
more and
ask
more,
in Tasmania.
more and more people just are realizing that it's more about compliance than health. I mean, you see people in the stores wearing a mask, and as soon as they walk out the door, they take it off.
Well, here in Tasmania, it's the other way around. If you're sick, you have a cold or something, they tell you to wear the mask, which is the true way to be wearing it. It's the
Right.
person who's the carrier should be the one wearing it, not the person who's negative. You know,
I don't even.
it's like any illness. It's like any.
I don't think the
a
mask is too
respiratory
necessary
illness.
for.
You wear a mask so that you don't catch anyone else who's got a cold
The-
or anything else. You protect yourself. It's not.
But you need these things to build your immune system.
Yes.
You
And not
need
only
these
that-
germs,
Not only
especially
that,
as
but
a
the
child.
the COVID virus going through the threads of a mask is like taking a handful of small rocks and throwing them at a chain link fence.
Yeah,
They're getting
all
through.
gonna go
The masks don't do anything, and they say that on the
No.
box. They have the whole time. You know,
Yeah.
it's about compliance, is all
and
it
it's
is.
not only that too. The influenza flu is a smooth virus. It's smooth. It's not spiky. If you have
What
a look
about-
at the coating of a cold, the
Oh, yeah.
original flu, they have 100 different coats, but they're all smooth. They're made to come in, go through your system, and your body fights, and you let it out. You know.
What do you
get
What
rid
do you
of it.
think? What do you think about the possibility that the flu is introduced to us every year? It's not just floating
That's
around
what's
out
been
there.
coming up recently.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I wouldn't find that hard to believe at all.
no.
The latest now.
Have you heard
is
of-
they're saying not SARS-2? They're saying this is the new so-called flu.
The new
Sorry.
so-called flu.
Man-made. This is not natural made. This is man-made.
Oh yeah. Oh, most
Oh,
definitely.
100%. Yeah.
I would think most things since AIDS, and if not before that, are man-made. You know,
Could I
I
just
don't. Let's go ahead. I'm sorry.
Sorry, could I just read you something? Just going with this topic, I'll just read you an operation. It was called Operation Sea Spray. It was a 1950s US Navy secret biological warfare experiment in which the Serratia, marcassins, and Bacillus gobbler bacteria were sprayed at the San Francisco Bay Area in California in order to determine how vulnerable a city like San Francisco may be to a bioweapon attack. So that was in the 1950s. That's documented.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. The things that they don't tell us. It goes back to what you were saying. One of you was saying a little while ago. Now with the internet, you know, all these things that we never heard about, the little things, you hear about them, and you start putting all the little things together, and it makes for some
And you
valuable
hear about it.
information.
You don't hear about it months later. You hear about it instantly.
Oh
You
yeah.
hear about it instantly. That's the biggest difference. Whereas, like,
And there's usually,
one you just talked about, Shane, that was
yep,
published 1950s, and it's now 2000. You know, 50 years later, they're
Yeah.
letting it go. It's like the death of Kennedy. You know, that's all coming out now.
Remember?
the shooting
No,
of Reagan.
haven't you heard?
You know,
Haven't-
the Harold
haven't
Holt
you-
here in Australia.
Haven't you heard? John F. Kennedy's not dead. John F. Kennedy's still alive, and he's Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
we've heard that, and he's having a party with Elvis Presley and
Oh,
and
what
he's
a-
coming back with
Beatles
Trump.
singer,
And-
that as well.
And people are believing this stuff too. You know, he'd be 104 years old, and he's Jesus. Well, he'd probably have to be Jesus in order to be walking around at 104 years old. I don't know.
But to
Some of
find out
this
he's-
stuff is beyond belief. Now, I mean, like I said a little while ago, there's nothing I won't, you know, believe, you know, the possibility. Well, that's one thing I don't think is really possible.
Yeah. I take it as people believed it before because you couldn't prove it because there was no internet. But now it's become that unbelievable. It's a joke. It's
Yeah.
it's the first joke everyone goes to now.
And it's too easy to get something verified.
For a sec.
But see, it doesn't
easy.
matter. It doesn't matter to the sheep verification. They don't need it. You know,
They don't need it.
So many people, the sheep as they're called, they just want somebody to tell them what to do. They don't want to have to think. They want to be able to say, well, so-and-so says we should do this and they're in power, so we should believe them. Well, it's coming to view to a lot of people that haven't ever thought it before that we shouldn't believe anything these people are telling us.
But I remember at the start, remember when the gates were around the Capitol?
Yeah.
And, Biden was going to get inaugurated. And the word at the time was that he was going to get locked up and they were going to do these mass arrests and all this and that. They used this little bit of truth and they turned it into this stupid bloody story. And even me at the time, I got hooked into it. I thought, oh, geez, I think there might be a possibility that this might happen.
Sure.
And I felt like an idiot afterwards.
Well, I don't think, you should look at it that way. I mean, I was big on watching the Q stuff every day too, and people decoding Q and all that. And now I look back at it and think, geez, what a bunch of hogwash I think it really was. It was just a distraction.
Exactly. And some of these people, they seemed so good at what they were doing. And they had, their little links that they had. And, look at the planes. And they'll look at the bloody, the other maps. And they'll put this whole storyline together. And you think, oh, yeah, this is pretty plausible. I think it's a possibility of it happening. Oh, right. It's very elaborate.
I don't know how many times I said to people that, what's going on is so unbelievable. Nobody would believe it if it was a movie. And yet me and so many others were believing the possibility that it was actually going on. I mean, there's still a chance something's happening behind the scenes, but every day I doubt it even more.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I do believe there's some things going on behind this because we've had a lot of, we've had two premiers go down in the space of a week in Australia.
Wow.
Hopefully there's a third coming.
Did we go through in 8 years? How many prime ministers did we go through in 8 years? They changed the law.
I would have loved to have known the real story behind all them.
Yeah, but how many of your prime ministers shit their pants in front of the Pope?
It's not a good look.
Good old Joe.
Come on, man.
They forgot to put his diaper on before he went.
Oh.
We call it a diaper. We call it a nappy, but yeah.
That's one job I wouldn't want to have, following him around and cleaning up after him.
Oh, it'd be a messy job.
Sorry if I'm
asking you, America, why do your presidents have to be so old to be voted in?
Because that's the narrative. I mean, that's the way we do things. I think it's the power. It's all about power.
I suppose it's about control. The older they get, the easier.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's actually in our Constitution that the president and vice president are elected separately. And that way you could have a president and vice president from two different parties. It was never changed in the Constitution. Somewhere along the way, the politicians decided, well, let's do it this way. And that's how we've been doing it ever since. But even that is unconstitutional. That's not the way that we should be voting in our president and vice president. But what can we do about it? Even those of us that realize this, we're not the ones in power. And the ones in power, there's nothing I hate to say it that way. There's nothing we can do. I'm not giving up. I'm always willing to see what
have you noticed, like, the race card is gone. The race card,
Oh, yeah.
before the COVID, it was Black Lives Matter, All Lives Matter, Gay Lives, whatever.
Black,
Lives Matter,
Black Lives
it matters.
Matter. Black Lives
It
Matter,
doesn't matter
except for at the
anymore.
abortion clinics.
It doesn't matter anymore. None of that matters anymore.
Yeah, but none of these people that say Black Lives Matter gave a crap that more people have been killed through abortion clinics than by guns in this country.
Oh, yes.
You know, but that's what I'm saying. The Planned Parenthood was basically put together by a racist. And Bill Gates' dad, Margaret Sanger, was a racist. She wanted to eradicate the black population. And Bill Gates' dad was also on the board. That
she wanted to eradicate it. Why did they bring them in?
Well, because they were good workers at the time we brought them all in. I'm just saying that's how they look at it. But then once slavery was abolished, you know, hey, we got, you know, the racists want to get rid of them, whatever. But what I'm getting at is all these people that say Black Lives Matter, they don't say anything against black abortion. You know, that those lives don't matter, you know. Well,
and we've got the same here with the Aboriginal, the
right.
way that they treat it. Like when they come to Tasmania wiped them out. White man wiped every.
That's what we did with the Native Americans. Yes.
They wiped every true Tasmanian Aboriginal. There isn't any. They were wiped out completely.
Yeah.
But you've got on the mainland, right? And then they did what's called the stolen generation, where they stole the children, took the children away because Aboriginal women fell pregnant. You know, the kids were slightly falling pregnant to white men, raping them, of course. And that's called.
We did that here too.
Slaves. That was our type of slavery.
But
we did that here
Vicky,
too.
That happened to white women as well, though.
Yes, it happened.
Single white women
that fell pregnant.
Single white women, because my mum was a single mother at her first. So my brother, and they were trying to push her towards abortion back in them days because she was a single woman.
Yes, but if you look at what they did to the Aboriginal, it was very atrocious. Like, and they got away with it. You only have to watch the Rabbit-Proof Fence. That's a very powerful movie.
We did the same.
Walk those thousands of kilometers.
We did the same things here to the Native Americans. Took the children away and took them to the East Coast and put them in Christian orphanages to make to take the native out of them,
to
take the savage out of them and stuff. Yeah, you know, I mean. That's that's cultural genocide.
And paid them with alcohol. Paid the native.
Alcohol and sugar. Two things that the Native
alcohol.
Americans,
I was about to say that.
Alcohol and sugar, and look at what it's done to them, and it pretty much was done by design.
Yeah, same thing here though. They've done it with the diabetes as well with the Aboriginal population here. Mm-hmm. Same thing. It's crazy. How could you? I couldn't live my life like that. Setting up people for
setting them up for death.
I don't have the mindset to be one of those people. I don't. I do. I have empathy, and that's the thing. Yeah. What do they say? Psychotics don't have empathy. You know, that's how they can do this without ever thinking about it.
No.
You know, I guess
they were raised without empathy too.
I must be. I'm crazy, but at least I'm not psychotic.
That's it. You know.
I heard a statistic about gun crime in America. So, in the constitutional carry, what do they call it? The carry states.
Constitutional carry means you can carry a gun hidden. And just because it's your right, you don't need a permit.
So there's less crime in them states than what there is in the states where there isn't that.
Well, the bad guys don't want to attack people that might be armed. They'd rather attack people they know aren't. It's as simple as that.
But you also have to look at too, like the mass shootings and all that's going on. But even just like it might sound racist, but the black.
I don't believe in a lot of mass shootings.
The drug industry, they're shooting each other for $20, for $5.
Yeah.
Bit of marijuana, bit of cocaine, bit of meth, you know.
Mass shootings are more about mental than they are about
the
guns.
narcissistic, psychotic.
Though, I mean, look at England, where they don't have guns either, but there's a lot of knifings. There was a lot of people driving cars into crowds, so or bombings. I mean, it's not the guns; it's the mentality.
Yes.
They just use that as an excuse to take them away.
Exactly.
Exactly. I don't think they would have done it to us if we had still had weapons. Like I don't know what the laws were like back then, Vicky. But obviously they were more readily available.
Like in the country, everyone has a gun in their home. It's without a fact. But it's not for killing other people. It's to keep the wild dogs, the foxes, it's to keep your livestock alive. That's what it is. It's to kill and go hunting. It was used for what it was designed for, hunting. Kill the wild boar, kill the overpopulated kangaroo, because kangaroos do become a pest. They do grow in huge tens of thousands mobs, it was there.
But I think you should have the right to
defend your land. It was to defend your.
Well, it depends who you ask.
Your food, your industry. What your.
If you ask an American that, they'll say it's for the government.
It's for the government, and
it was purposely made.
The wild animals in this country are people most of the time, and they're armed.
I was going to say that.
I'm sorry, but your wild animals are really not that dangerous compared to everything
hell
that
no.
touch a snake, a bat, a fox. I would
love to visit Australia someday, but I won't. Every goddamn animal in the world that can kill you is down there. No thanks.
But everybody thinks it's like we got it on our doorsteps in our home, and it's not. It's actually in the city. There's not much at all.
What do you mean, Vicky?
We get these Yankees going. There's a great joke going around. Like we tell the Yanks, when you come to Australia, remember the traffic lights are upside down. Right? Green is up the top. Then it's yellow, true? Then it's red. Because we're down under. And like now, you're looking the same. Look, everybody's believing it.
I love it. That's great. Okay, good. I love it. That's great. I love that stuff.
It's like the drop bear theory. Be careful when you walk under a tree. The drop bear, which is a feral koala, it's looking like
that I've heard.
And there's no such thing. Okay, and a koala is not a bear. It's not a koala bear. It's just a koala. But these Americans added bear to the name.
Well, we add a lot of useless things in our world over here, like our politicians.
And everybody thinks that the koala
probably just
suddenly you can walk up to it and grab it, but no, you don't.
I love that. I love that street light thing, man. I love that street light. Well, you guys do drive on the wrong side of the road, so it is feasible that you have your signals upside down. That's why.
No. We're on the correct side. It's used.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and the metric system
Canada
is
drive on the same side as you.
Canada, yes. I think so. I've never been there, but I'm pretty sure. I think it's just you in England that drive weird.
Because I thought because Canada was Commonwealth, they were the same like us.
No, I think because they're so close to us, they're more like us.
You cross the border, because that means you've got to go from the right lane
I honestly, personally, I love to drive. I've driven trucks and all kinds of things most of my life. I drove tractor trailers for a while, but I would never volunteer to drive in Australia or England. It's just my mind is set for the
Well, you know
opposite.
how you can learn real easy? Get drunk.
How's that?
Get drunk,
What?
then you
Get
always end
drunk.
up on the wrong side of the road. Get
Well,
drunk.
there you
Yeah.
go. There you go. So,
Unless you're going around in
Go
circles.
to America, get drunk, and then you'll be driving on the right side.
well, now I have a plan.
Play crash derbies.
Or as we call it, dodgems.
Well, hopefully we'll all get through this one way or another. And if we don't, well, we don't. We're only here for a short time anyways.
We just got to take it. Unfortunately,
Ugh.
we can't plan ahead. That's what it is. It's literally day by day.
Yeah. I just stay stoned. So, I really don't give a shit. I mean, it's legal here. I live in Arizona and it's legal here. And I've been doing it for 44 years, whether it was legal or not. Most of the time
Well,
it wasn't.
Tasmania has the biggest opium plantation in Australia.
That's
Oh, you're kidding.
Maybe I will have to come down there, man. I've always wanted to smoke pure lithium.
Well, unfortunately, what happens is if you stop more than 30 seconds next to these huge plantations, these cops and cars come out of these tiny little sheds that are planted everywhere from nowhere, and they're right there. And what are you stopping for? What are you doing here? Get going. Because people are trying to take photos or trying to they try to go over the fence, but no.
Oh well, one can dream.
That's it.
Yeah.
But no,
I
it's
think
a
I might,
crazy world. Unfortunately, it's going to get crazier before it gets better.
Yeah.
We haven't hit rock bottom yet.
No, I
You don't
agree
reckon?
with you there.
Financial.
I was starting to tell people that
financial.
The
So you think it's
financial,
gonna
you're
get
right.
worse?
That is the next big crush, and it is going to be big, and it's going to be worldwide.
Yes, it's going to be like the Great Depression, if not bigger.
Exactly, and yeah.
And I believe there will be an internet outage. I believe it will happen. Something will happen.
Yes, because they know that we can communicate this way and fast, like you said. They have to take it out eventually, at least for a period of time, because it is one of the problems that they have is people.
I don't think it'll be a gun war or a missile war or anything like that. It is going to be hitting people right in their pockets, as I would say. Hit you in your hip pocket, where your money is, where your livelihood is, the food you eat. I mean, look at all the genocides grain now.
Once you take all that away from the people and all they have left, that's when it becomes kinetic. Yeah, that's when people start shooting. I heard somebody say in that Michael Malice interview, a guy was saying that somebody asked him one day, "Hey, when do we get to start shooting?" And I was thinking, my answer
the food is literally taken out of our hands, out of our mouths.
My answer is as soon as they start shooting at you. We don't. We own a lot of guns, but we're not a shoot first society.
I think what.
Go ahead.
Sorry, you go first. No, I'll finish after you. I was just being rude.
I'm just rambling on with my own personal opinion. So, we're not a shoot first society, but we're definitely a defense society. Most of our guns are owned for defense, and hunting and all that. But I think more guns are owned for defense than anything else. And you're right. It's not about defending against a herd of deer. It's about defending against the government.
Yeah, well, that's a scary thing too. I don't know what's going to happen. I think that I definitely think they might try and take out certain people in the community first. Maybe
they're picking on the sick.
Well,
They're picking on the
that
sick.
They're picking
and
on the sick, the elderly, because the elderly are living longer, much longer now. They're picking on people with disabilities or a sickness. That's why they're boosting. I don't know if they're doing it in the US, but in Australia, they're boosting just people with compromised health issues. They are not boosting like you, Shane, with you've had the one jab. They're not going to boost you first. They're boosting everybody like me. I haven't had the jab, so
they're boosting everybody
but they're
that'll do it
asking for
here.
everyone who has an ailment or an immunization problem, or autoimmune problem. They're asking them, the elderly, to boost first.
They're pushing it on everybody here. They want it on.
They've just pushed
everybody.
it back.
But they just haven't mandated it yet.
Next year, they just pushed it back from the 5 to 12-year-olds. They've pushed it back now till next year. They're not going to touch the kids now. It was just announced today.
Yeah, I was happy about that. So happy.
But they're pushing now for the booster shot. They were going to do the booster shot for everybody. Now they're just saying people who have a compromised health issue to have the booster. Not anyone. They were going to push it all on the young ones, the 20, the 30, the 40.
Give it 2 weeks. Give it 2 weeks.
They're pushing it on everybody here. Every age, everybody.
They're just warming us.
They're
just warming us up to the idea. That's what they're doing, I think.
The unvaxxed or the purebloods, as they call us.
Dan Andrews is getting scared. Look what's
But there's so many people asleep. My boss's daughter, right? She is under the assumption that everyone should be vaxxed. Everyone. But if you've had your if you've been vaccinated, you should be safe. So why should I have to?
Well,
kids shouldn't have to. The kids aren't passing away from it. Kids aren't really getting sick from it. Why should they have to?
Need a booster shot within 6 months?
Because it's not a real vax.
No. You have a look at every vax that
they changed the definition of it, didn't they?
I believe they did.
Years
of
research, testing, trialing before they brought it out, and they didn't force it on you. They asked you. You still had the choice.
I believe death from the vax has surpassed death from the COVID itself.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
There was announced a lady, a nurse. She's 19 years. She said everyone who's in hospital is vaccinated, and it's for the reaction to the vaccine. It's not the COVID.
Nope.
The woman in South Australia.
Yeah, and just look at also, we had the horse racing Melbourne Cup, which is big here in Australia, and it was vaccinated only. Now there's 100 people there asking to be tested because there was a positive case. They cannot blame the unvaccinated. We weren't allowed in.
Hoisted by their own petard.
Exactly, and it happened also in Sydney. They opened up for the gyms, and the gyms was vaccinated, double jabbed only, not single jab, but double jabbed. And COVID spread from inside a gym, all vaccinated, not unvaccinated.
What? Oh, this is just bizarre now. I didn't hear that one.
And you only have to say, Shane, in Melbourne, for you, because you're Victoria.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be vaccinated out only, but they let everybody out now. They can't take that back. Have you noticed they're not saying that the unvaccinated have to go back in? Remember they said that because they said that unvaccinated could go to certain shops, and they made the mistake of saying all retail. Then they said, oh, yes, we'll have to let them do all retail.
Okay, because I don't watch the news here, so I don't really keep up to date with too much news here. But they were trying to push. Well, the week we come out of lockdown, one of our biggest shopping centres said anyone can come, vaxxed, non-vaxxed.
Yes, because he said all retail.
Yeah.
So they let them in. It was too late. The so-called vaxxed and unvaxxed areas was abolished. It had to be abolished. That's why everyone's allowed
So,
out now.
but none of it makes sense. Like if you oh yeah, trust the science. What does the science tell me? Oh well, the science tells me young kids aren't dying. Oh,
Baffle them with bullshit.
let's get them vaccinated. They're not. Are they getting sick? No, they're not getting sick either. Let's get them vaccinated. Doesn't make sense.
Where's the instruction paper that tells you what's in it?
They don't put it out there.
Where's the side effects paper that every medication you get?
Oh, there's no
That's the
side
thing.
effect.
You're
no
meant
side
to be.
effect.
Oh, but you're meant to have informed consent when you're when you get this thing. But everything they tell you is bullshit, and they don't even tell you anything. All they do is force the crap on you. So you don't even have an informed consent.
And I don't believe any of the vaxxers are actually approved yet. They're only approved for further testing.
It's a trial.
Yeah.
It's
so
a
they
mass
can't
trial. Never heard of before.
They can't force you to take something that's not approved.
See, but what they did in Victoria is they made all the employers.
Mm-hmm.
So all the employers asked. So basically, everyone has to be jabbed before they can get a job.
They brought the mandate in because Victoria was
the
longest state, the longest town, the longest area worldwide that's been locked down.
But get this. We didn't have any deaths all year up until about, say, 8 weeks ago. 7-8 weeks ago, we didn't have deaths. We didn't have any deaths. Wow. We had deaths last year. We didn't have any deaths this year.
We had a couple, but that wasn't huge. It was under 20.
Yeah.
Like Tasmania, we've only had 4 deaths the whole time since the pandemic started 2 years ago. 4.
Wow.
4?
4
and the
deaths.
population of Tasmania is what? 1 million or 2?
Yeah, and then you got to double it because they say we all got 2 heads.
Yeah.
It's an ongoing Aussie joke to hear. At Tasmania, they call it the incest state, where everybody's inbred, so we all got 2 heads.
530,000
people. You know how we tell
people.
that you're a true Tasmanian? We look for the scar on the shoulder where your first head was cut off.
and a natural immunity to COVID.
Our problem with COVID is people sneaking in.
Yeah.
Breaking the quarantine rules, like they have to be isolated for 2 weeks to come here. They have to special pass and they lie about their pass. And then they come in and then they sneak out of hotel quarantine or wherever they were staying quarantine, go shopping, get caught. So then they put in another 2 weeks. They get a $5,000 to $11,000 fine. And then we put them on as soon as the 14 days are up, we put them straight back on the plane and send them straight back to where they come from.
Jeez. Yeah, I have no desire.
Have you heard about the new rules that Have you heard about the new rules that Daniel Andrews was trying to push through, Vicky?
Which one? There's so many.
The permanent pandemic laws?
Yes, and that goes in either this week or start of next week. That's the bill. Kill the bill. That's what.
How scary is that?
It's all about.
How scary is that?
Yeah. Where he can declare.
He don't even.
A permanent pandemic.
There doesn't even have to be any cases.
No, any deaths, any cases, because at the moment the law here is they can apply for a pandemic, declare it, and they can renew it every 3 months for 7 times, so 21 months exactly. Then they must decide whether, and this is what it is. The 21 months finishes next week. 20 months of declared pandemic in Victoria. And now they want to make it permanent.
Does it?
Yep.
I thought we had until, I thought it was the 15th of December that the the law's
It
finished.
runs out on the 15th, but they have to decide before to put whether it becomes a pandemic permanent or it goes back to normal. Everything goes back to normal. That's what the decision is being made right now. That's what all the court cases are going on.
And some of the other I think what was it? 2 years jail for not wearing a mask.
Jesus.
Well, they're fining
hear that?
kids, what, $40?
Yeah.
They're charging kids $40 for not wearing a mask. Fining kids.
But
all
who
the kids
pays
from
that?
12 to 16. Well, goes to the parent, of course, but the kid's name
Yeah.
and all that. Yeah.
And what
it's
happens if they refuse to pay?
$200 or $400 for an adult. And if
I do believe that a lot of the fines have been thrown out of court when you do contest them, but a lot of people just pay them.
There's a lot. It's not a lot of fines being thrown out. It's just people who have got the smarts to do it. But the majority of people are paying the fine just to get it out of the way. They ring up and go, all right, I've got no job. Can I go on a $5 a week payment plan through their Centrelink, which is like Social Security, you call it over there. Yeah. People are paying it.
And I think what, $20,000 for there was a $20,000 fine, and then there was another fine for businesses. Oh, I think it was $20,000 for businesses.
And federal industries, $100,000. An industry where it's like a factory.
Could you imagine that?
The $100,000. And if you break
that would break you. Two fines in a week.
And if you break your isolation rules, being isolated, it's what, 5,000 to 11,000, depending on which one you're in. And you've got to pay for your quarantine.
But I think that's why they're building.
Home anymore. You've got to quarantine.
Yeah, that's why they're building these.
$3,000.
Well, are you building any quarantine facilities there? No.
I think we are, but the so-called new prison that's supposed to be going up, and but they're using.
We've got 2 quarantine facilities getting built here.
Hotels here. They're using hotels.
So they're going to plan on using them, obviously. They don't build these.
I know they're building one in Victoria. I know they're building one in New South Wales. I'm not sure about Queensland.
Well, there's one in Avalon, and there's one in Donnybrook.
So,
yeah. They may start by calling them COVID camps or whatever else, but it's like taxes. Once you get it implemented, it's easier to raise it and add a few more people.
Well, that's why they wanted to build all those years ago the immigration camps.
Yeah.
And then they decided to use Christmas Island. So the in-joke now, especially with my friends, as Shane knows, we're saying, oh, Vicky, all us unvaxxed are coming to Tasmania to live, and the rest of Australia is for all the vaccinated. Because we're a little island, we can be
We're gonna take it over. Oh, there's my Streamweaver. Hey, my Streamweaver. We're going to take over Tasmania. Don't tell no one. Keep it a secret.
Everybody wants to come over because even though you're vaccinated or
unvaccinated,
there's
that look on your face. I thought you thought I was serious for a second.
There's no segregation. We're not segregating. We're expecting whether you are or you're not. But there's one provision. You can't come over to Tasmania until you're vaccinated. That's what they made.
Yeah, that's rule. The only. You've got to get on the plane.
Don't care what's in Australia, what's in Tasmania now, whether you're vaccinated or unvaccinated, because we're not having the cases. But he will make sure that every visitor, person, and that has to be double jabbed.
How far are you from the Australian mainland?
45 minutes by plane or 12 hours by boat.
Okay, it sounds like you may end up having is like we had in the Cubans coming into Florida. You're going to have a lot of boat people coming from Australia to get to Tasmania,
Oh,
But
without
yeah.
the VAT.
you can get over by fishing boat.
Yeah, I
Imagine
mean,
that. Oh,
there's always a
the
way around
headlines.
the rules.
You know, the tuna fishing boats, the lobster fishing boats, right? Pay them good money, stick a couple of yous on there, go fishing, get your crop, bring them back over. They've made a pocket, get off the wharf, and off you go.
There you go.
Giving me ideas. Giving me ideas.
People are already trying to started. It's not what you know. It's
Could you imagine the headlines on the news? Boat people from Australia go to Tasmania,
Australian
escape to
boat
Tasmania.
people
Many boats
invade
with
Tasmania.
only
That's
now
Australian boat people.
3 boats have disappeared. 3 fishing boats have disappeared.
Yeah, what a world. It's pretty entertaining. I gotta say. I'm not married. I don't have any kids, no grandkids or anything. It's just me and my cat I have to worry about. And like I said, I smoke a lot of grass, so I'm just considering everything going
I'll
on
do the
more as
same.
entertainment. Yeah, it's I
Oh,
just
see, I'm disabled, so I'm stuck at home anyway. But I have 2 kids.
okay. And I'm
So
retired I'm disabled. I'm on disability also. And so I got all day to sit around and smoke grass and watch YouTube videos and,
yeah,
and see
yeah.
what's really going on in the world, or at least make my decision as to what I think is going on in the world. But it's entertaining to me. What is
It's
happening?
good to watch. It's good. I'm
But
not
also,
like when I
also,
discuss it, I'll talk about it. But otherwise,
also
I
because
watch and
Also,
observe.
because I am personally less affected by it than you folks. If I mean, I'm still free. Like I said, I don't wear masks. I don't. And over here, a lot of people, whether they're vaxxed or not, just don't give a shit. It's only a certain amount of people that are virtue signaling and all. Most of the people, they did it. Oh well, you didn't do it. No big deal. But it doesn't affect me as it does a lot of people, so I can sit back and just watch history unfold, and enjoy it for that. Not that I enjoy it, that's the wrong word possibly, but you know
Well,
what I'm saying.
I don't know like what you do, but what I do is everybody watches the person who's talking in the front, right? Don't watch the person, just listen. Don't watch them. Watch what's going on in the back.
Yeah.
You look for the symbols in their background pics, and the wording and all occasion you'll see a hand moving or passing something there. That's what you gotta watch.
Exactly.
I know there's so much symbolism.
They've
Oh,
been
and
using symbolism for years. And even, people say, on TV, the you don't see it, but it gets, all of a sudden everybody wants to go and buy Coca-Cola, because they watch some show and then everybody come out of some movie in the cinema and then everybody's going, why do I all of a sudden I want to buy a Coca-Cola or I want to buy
I just watched some. I watched that last night.
yes,
I did.
exactly. Subliminal.
I watched.
They can't
Yeah.
say it's not happening because it is happening.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's
That's a marketing
definitely.
ploy for a long time. I mean, it's and that's how easily fooled we are. I'm not sure about the commercials in your country, but a beer commercial in this country is full of chicks in bikinis. Basically, the psychological message to all males is if you buy this beer, chicks in bikinis are going to be knocking on your door.
Well,
And
but
people
that
fall
used to
for
be
it.
here. Now it's the bogan, as we
It's
call it.
But usually, what happens is the opposite.
The bogan.
yeah.
The women are slapping you.
Yeah, they don't want to hang out with a drunk.
Nah.
It's about mateship here more now. It's mateship, have a beer with your mates. have a beer with your family, have a beer at the barbecue.
But that's that's the advertisement that they're using for the jab at the moment is if you want a beer, get the jab. If you want to have a beer with your mate and go to the pub, get
a voucher at the pub. Free drink. Or a sausage sizzle. Sausage and bread at the hardware store. One free sausage, barbecue sausage and bread, and the other one you go in the first tent to get the jab and come out with a sausage in hand, and then go to the hardware store and buy something to do some home improvement.
Well, I had the jab. It's going on about 11 days now, and I felt like crap. I still feel like my chest feels all really. I feel like I've got a lot of pressure on my chest.
And I think you'll find there's probably a lot of anxiety too.
Could be.
It doesn't.
You're stressed.
See, the thing is, I had a really bad car accident when I was in 2004. So I know what it's like to have my body fucked up. So I separate my mind from my body, if you know what I mean. So I know that it's not anxiety because I've already, I know that
it's your, but you, how do you say it? It's subconsciously, it's on your mind all the time.
It's on my mind all the time because my chest feels like it's going to bloody explode.
but
always on my mind. Always on my mind.
Inflammation. Don't get me wrong. Your body is fighting something. Your body's fighting.
Yeah.
But
I think that it's rejecting it.
That's what's stressing you a little bit because it's on your mind about it. And,
I truly believe that they shouldn't be forcing this shit onto people, though.
No.
Fucking 10 days, my body still doesn't feel the same.
Hang in there, man.
And that's what it
Hang
is.
in there.
I got to. But I'm gonna make it. I'm like, I don't want to seem like a whinger because I never whinge, but I want to let people know that fucking people are getting fucked up from this shit.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to swear, Vicky.
That's all right. I'm allowed to whinge because I'm a pom. I'm a whinging pom.
I didn't say sorry to you, Socrates.
Oh,
because
no.
You're a male.
I'm 3 years old.
When you said that, I all of a sudden went, oh, my God, because I cuss fluently, and I don't even think about apologizing most of the time.
Nah. I just thought I'd better apologize in front of the lady.
I can offend people without even trying sometimes. So, I just, I guess I'm kind of clueless that way. I just speak freely, and people that know me say that I just don't have a filter. I don't have a muffler. It just, if it's there, it comes out.
I'm very blunt.
Oh, very good. I like that.
I'm very blunt.
I think that's the best way to be.
Yes.
I just say it.
I like honesty.
I try and say it respectfully.
Oh,
but if you piss me off, touch my kids, piss me off, I'll swear like a fucking trooper. I can do that.
Oh yeah.
You
I think. Got to hold your own.
I've lost more friends because of honesty than for any other reason. People say they like honesty, but they don't really. I mean. You say, you're blunt. I'm honest and I don't have a filter. I say what's on my mind. But at least, if you do hang out with me, you know where I stand.
But also, if you've made a mistake, you're the first to apologize too. Yeah?
Exactly.
Oh, definitely.
That's the difference.
And I analyze things too. After a situation, I'll analyze, what happened, what went on, what my part was and all. And the next day I'll a lot of times apologize.
I do that too.
For my part. Yeah.
Yeah. If it's not the next day when you realize, then you'll go, shit. Oh, fuck. Fucking hell. I made a fucking idiot. Now I've got to go apologize. I was wrong, And
they're the type of people I want to know. I don't want to know someone that's going to say, oh, you look good in that fucking top. And you're like, all right, whatever. Or they won't tell you that there's a boogie in your nose, and you're walking around all day with a boogie in your nose.
Yeah,
exactly.
I've never had many friends that were yes men and sycophants. You know, I don't like that. If you disagree with me, tell me. You know,
It's
Yeah.
and
wonderful.
then maybe we can both learn something.
I love differences.
Yeah.
That's what's good about a human. We have that brain to do that.
Life would be pretty shit if we all agree with one another.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
It'd be like a kiss ass fest.
It would be an episode of the Twilight Zone.
It definitely would be the Twilight Zone
I
in my
believe that
world.
was one of the episodes where a guy wished everybody in the world was just like him, and then all of a sudden they were.
I might have
And
to go, guys. It looks like something is important come up. You know, Tony and Linda, Shane.
Yep.
Linda needs to call me, and she's never asked to call me before. So
You're quite welcome. We will let you. We'll let you go this time.
well, I mean, I could take the conversation now. Just I'll be on mute. You know, I can do it that way.
No. I'm getting. We've been on for about an hour and 45 minutes, so I'll probably just give it another 5 minutes and head off. I think it's been a pretty successful show.
I did ask her to say, "Give me 10 minutes." But
it was enjoyable talking with you, Vicky.
Definitely,
Sorry?
Vicky.
It was very enjoyable talking with you. It was nice to meet you.
No worries, anytime, mate. So, or would you like me to speak in a British accent? Would you like a cup of tea?
Nah.
Or would you like a coffee, mate?
Hey, you can talk any way you like.
Yeah, have a beer.
Just don't use ebonics.
Ebonics.
Don't ask me a question, okay? Ask me a question. Let me ask you.
Ask you nothing, tell you nothing, take you nowhere.
Let me ask you a question. Don't take an axe to me. I don't want, I'm just joking. That's, I guess, an American thing, ebonics.
Yeah, it's not here in Australia.
Sorry, I forgot.
What about?
You got to know your audience.
It's very.
What about the colonics?
Shove it up your ass, other words. We always say, wipe your chin. People go, oh, is there something on it? We said, no, you're just dribbling shit, mate.
Yeah,
Socrates, it's
one of the big.
It's so nice to have you up here.
Well, thanks.
It's good to have you.
I think we're on a little bit of delay because I keep interrupting when one of you guys talks, so I apologize for that. And I'm never at a lack of words. I enjoy talking and I enjoy listening and hearing what other people say. And Shane, I've gotten to know you recently through chats and all and watching your videos. Thanks for having me up. I really enjoyed this.
Are you on?
No, thank you.
Told me about Shane. Is this where?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I watched your YouTube the other day. I made a few comments.
Yeah, no, everyone's welcome there. It's Search for the Truth. You're always in Search for the Truth now and then, aren't you?
I've been watching a couple of those. So
Search for Truth. Oh yeah. I don't go there
Travis's channel.
Yeah, no? I don't do that one anymore. I got banned from there for a while, and Travis was, I think, lying to me, telling me he couldn't see how I was blocked yet. I was blocked and all.
No,
and
they see everything because they see every comment through it. So
right.
That's a lie.
Oh, sometimes they do get carried away.
So, but that's honestly, that's where I cut my teeth going up on chat, on a panel, basically, was going up and talking with them and made me feel comfortable. It was fun. But I said something against one of their friends, and that kind of knocked. I called her the Australian favorite word.
Which one? We've got several.
I called her a self-righteous coont.
Coont.
Oh, a cunt.
Yeah.
So I was
nothing wrong with that.
Country with a silent O.
Yes.
See,
precisely.
We should say not country. The word count with the silent O.
See, I pronounce it with two O's. Coont.
Oh, okay.
Coont.
Just sounds better.
No, it's up. It's up.
But yeah, so I just I haven't been to Travis's for quite a while, and
I've only seen one so far that I watched live.
But
yeah,
but you go to Riddle, don't you? You're on.
I'll go to yes.
I
Yeah, I
see you
do
on there
actually.
quite a bit. Yeah, I like Jeff.
I've put my Facebook in the private chat for you, Socrates. And
I don't do
if
Facebook.
don't you do Facebook?
I
How can
quit
I get a hold of
Facebook.
you? I'll have to. I'll have to
back
put the.
when we
Just,
get off
get a gun,
in the back part,
and
I can give
eventually
you
you'll
my
see
number.
it.
All right, perfect. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, I'll give you
'Cause
my number.
definitely,
You
I
can
like,
text me or even call anytime. That's
Definitely.
the only other way. Texting would be the easiest way. I don't even check email anymore.
I've got 76 unread messages.
I've got 42 because I empty mine every day.
Yeah, I probably got
Oh.
somewhere around that, and they're all asking for money.
No,
Yeah.
no,
Or signing up for something or other.
Oh, but lately it's all about the bloody Viagra. I don't know what's going
Viagra?
on. But Jesus Christ, I don't have a dick.
I don't need Viagra.
I don't need the Viagra.
I don't need Viagra.
I don't need the Viagra, but it needs me.
So me and my friends would say, we don't need the Viagra, we just need the penis that needs the Viagra.
No. I'm probably gonna go.
Rude and disgusting too. So
I bet after this live, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go and smash my head against the wall about 50,000 times. Get rid of all this frustration.
Yeah, the second head, the little head.
No, not his actual head.
Okay. Sometimes.
All right, I think I might shut it down anyway, and I'll let you get on with.
One between the legs.
Oh, don't get me there. All right, well, I'll shut this down, and I'll try and figure out how we can do it in the back. I think this is a pretty successful show. That's why I want to stop it before I drag it on too long and make it not.
No worries. All right,
I think it's
and like I said,
definitely
next time, Shane, when you're ready to go again. Now,
hang on, wait. We can sit in the background. We can. I'll just turn this off for a second, and we can just chat in the back for a second.
Oh well, I have to go. I've got to ring Linda now. She really needs me. So. All
right. Well, I'll talk to you. I'll talk to you on Facebook in the morning or something. Yeah. You have a good night,
no worries.
Vicky.
Well, if you're still chatting in the background 10 minutes later or so, I'll just rejoin that way.
No dramas.
All right then. All right. See you later, Socrates.
Bye, Vicky.
Thanks.
Nice meeting you.
No
Thanks,
worries.
Vicky.
Bye.
All right, so we're going to end the transmission. Don't know how this is going to work.
Okay.
All right, so we're ending.